21 also said specifically in a video during an interview, like a full-fledged straight up interview, niggas don't want to fight no more. I'll really beat the shit out of all of these niggas. And he looked at all the people that was there.
no one tested it.
And no one said anything. Yeah. He's like that. I'm not gonna bother 21. He's like,
I don't know, if I was in that room, maybe I would have ran the fade off strength.
Rick might have. Rick, depending on how close you and 21 is, I feel like Rick might have. As long as 21 ain't gonna blame you, I think
if you're telling me no guns are in the equation, no matter what the outcome is, if I beat the shit out of you, as long as I'm not about to kill you, I won't get pulled up on. I'm fighting. Like, ain't no reason not to fight. That's the best guarantee I would ever have.
Definitely pull up that 50 Cent type, that 50 Cent type thing. Like, okay, I might not do it, but your homeboys around you when I give them that bread.
You can't control with somebody else.
Yeah, I guess.
I give your boy the bread.
And maybe I might be like 50 Cent. If I get shot 9 times,
all of a sudden nobody knows anything now.
If Rick beat the shit out of 21 and somebody shoot Rick, I'm smacking that person's cheeks. How about that?
I thought you was going.
Hold on.
I thought you was spinning the block for me. I thought you was going to take him off for me. You were just trying to get a little bit of stuff
boys, bro.
I would say this. I would rather someone kill me than fuck me.
That's what I'm saying. So if you beat the shit out of 21,
but nobody told you to do that.
Nobody told me to do it. It's my get back from my man's Rick. Are you fucking crazy?
You crazy? I'll show you crazy.
He thinking I'm about to like pull out a weapon. He like, wait, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
You know, that was a scene in Snowfall.
Was it really?
Well, it was technically the same kind of scene, but it wasn't because the dude killed anyone. It's because he owed them money. So the dude
smacked his cheek.
Hold on, I'll break it down. So a dude owed Franklin and his man some money, right? But he was of the street variety, and he was more dangerous than them. So what they did, this was when they were only like street level, and they were only dealing with street level dudes. They got a dude fresh out the pen as a bodyguard / enforcer to basically beat him up and find out where he was keeping the money they owed him.
So he beat him up.
So the dude took him into the other room. The door was open in this part of the scene. Dude took him into the room, started beating the shit out of him, right? And nigga was basically on the like, I ain't gonna tell you shit. I don't care how much you beat me type BS, right? The dude basically moved them both out the room. Franklin and his man's out the room. Closed the door, and then you just hear him getting beat. And I was like, oh, he's still beating his ass.
It wasn't getting beat.
He was. But then you hear like the creaking of a bed, right? And then you hear the dude start making like weirder noises, and then he start crying. And then Franklin was like, damn, he really beating the shit out of him. And then his man's Leon was leaning against the door listening. He was like, I don't think he beating the shit out of him. And Franklin was like, why not? He was like, what is he doing? He was like, I think he fucking him. And the dude came out the room. Other dude
butt-ass nigga.
He was pulling up his pants down. Other dude was laying face down on the bed. You seen his face, it was bloody, and he was crying and slobbering and shaking.
Them niggas what it was.
And he told him where the stash was. Homeboy from the pen got the stash, but then wouldn't give it to Leon and Franklin. And I ain't gonna beef a nigga who just did that to him. And so he took the money. They did all that to get this man's that they were at one point cool with.
And he took it.
Yeah, and then he robbed him. They ended up spinning the block and shooting that nigga in the field, and he was crying for his life. And I was like, you can't cry over the thing.
At that point.
Yeah, after all the things you've done since you've been let out, you can't shed a tear in this moment. He was begging for his life.
That's a fight. That sounds crazy.
Snowfall's nice. You should watch it. I know the reason why you don't want to watch it, but at the same time, stop thinking like that. It's like Steve won't watch Snowfall because he feels like all the a majority of things in terms of black entertainment is about either slavery, drugs, and hip hop.
As if we can't do anything else.
And I think that's a fair point.
Gotta get those Hallmark movies going, bro.
But actually don't have any like that.
Yeah, there's no
quality
black Hallmark.
We have certain things like that.
Tyler Perry.
Then we have that. It is. It's our shit.
All his shit is the dark skinned man is evil. The light skinned man saves the day. oh my God, the dark skinned man is a rapist. The dark skinned man be beating the shit out of his wife.
It's not even always like that. I can name a couple Tyler Perry
80% of the time, Rick.
And I can say that's fair, but is that more of
Grown Ups? What is that?
That's not even a black movie. He's talking about the Adam Sandler.
That don't
get a movie like that going.
I'll say this on the point of that. Any of the people he cast where you say light skin or whatnot, they honestly are more his color. Like it'd be different if Tyler Perry was like our color doing that. But he's casting people in reflection to how he probably views the world, whether it's correct
Space
or not.
Jam.
Or Space Jam would. I feel like Space Jam counts.
Actually, there's Looney Tunes in there though.
But no, it's our movie.
It's ours, yeah. It's ours.
But even past that, I feel like it's the same way of like how they try to like separate crime, like black crime, like black on black crime versus any other crime. That's just crime.
Yeah, no.
And so those movies are just movies. Like they're not specifically drug or hip hop movies. They're just movies with black people in them that tells the story that black people like to tell.
I get what you're saying, but
we can deviate away from it. But I don't feel like that's something that we have to do. If it's something that you would like us to do, I can understand that opinion. But to feel like that's something that we should be shamed for doing.
No, I'm not shaming nobody for watching it. I just don't want to watch it.
No, but I'm saying
it's just like
I was saying,
and even the Franklin story, like I know the story a little bit.
It's like, real.
It's based off a true story. I didn't know that.
Franklin fucked.
Oh yeah, okay.
Well, no, hopefully that part is
actually he probably did. I think it was
it's like the Denzel Washington movie,
American Gangster.
Yeah, like that. This is based loosely on a real story, which is why
I love that movie.
Yeah, which is why I feel like it's not in the same vein. I feel like most of the drug dealing movies and stuff are either based loosely on or are based on real life events, which is why I don't feel like there's a lot of.
I didn't realize Snowfall is based on true story.
I don't feel like there's a lot of like stuff that it's like some dude thought up and was like drug dealers, black people gotta be, except maybe 50 Cent, but that's literally his point in life. Like so, I feel like doing that is like by kind of wanting to kind of like move away from that stuff. You're kind of, in my opinion.
Go ahead.
In my opinion, kind of like saying that we should be shunning what people are going through that they're reflecting.
Well, no, I just feel like that's all we see on TV. Like in the 90s, we got Martin and Living Single, stuff like that. It was different shit. The black experience ain't just niggas selling drugs, niggas beating their wives, niggas.
And I don't think it is. I just think those are the things that were written well because they hold emotional weight and because they usually reflect real world situations that people have gone through similarly enough.
I think what he's saying is if I were to write a movie like that, you know what I'm saying? Those are the main key things that I would pull people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The basic stereotype.
Yeah.
When you're writing something.
And
I think that's what he's trying to say.
Yeah, that's like
why is that the stereotype of the movie
time,
industry? You know
like Rick, name a show within the last like 10 years that wasn't besides Grownish. We could say grown that wasn't like had drugs in it or people like not Power. It was the joint with the dude that say Maine all the time. Empire. He was a successful rapper and stuff like that, but he only got there because he was selling drugs and him and his girl was finessing and shit, and they got money. And then they rappers, which rap is fine or whatever, but it's just like the black experience is more than that. You got black nerds, you got black people that like to go to coffee shops. And Friends was literally about them going to a coffee shop every day.
And I
want a black show like that.
Those movies and shows exist, and they get burned. It's just the things that really pull the culture in is things that people can either relate to personally or have seen play out in time. Like getting money from drug dealing to then transition into entertainment is a tale as old as time in the black community. Even in the white community, it's a little bit of a thing. And so it's like, so because it's something that has reflected in the real world and has captivated so many people, once you can take elements from that and then twist it up in whatever fantasy storyline you want to do, it's going to be compelling.
Yeah. Well, no. I don't mean that it's not.
Yeah, but I'm saying because
like
it's compelling, people will watch it. Yeah, and because it's compelling, because of that, like, like I could see how this happened, or this is maybe an inside look of how this could have happened. Because of that, it's compelling. Because it's compelling, people watch it, and because people watch it, studios will push more stuff like that. If that stuff start doing bad, they'll stop pushing it, but that stuff will only start doing bad when it starts being bad. Like,
and I guess more recently we had like Grownish in that whole universe. Yeah, and then now Abbott Elementary. Shout out to her. Fuck that lady that tried to sue her. Yeah. So I get it. It was a period of time, at least a 7-year period, where all it was I was seeing was niggas selling
basically
drugs.
Murder and hip hop.
It was murder, hip hop, and abuse.
Which
and I was just like, damn. Bro.
Yeah, which might have been something that was perpetuated by the fact that stuff was selling well. Right. But because there was so much of it, the market started to get saturated.
And now
the stories.
I mean, at the time too, like trap was like the biggest selling thing too. Yeah, so in the industry.
It's money.
Keef and all them niggas.
At this point, I feel like that's not.
I got into a couple of Chirac documentaries myself. Damn, you guys are really spinning on Opal. Like, cops are not stopping through there. You can get away with murder.
No, yeah.
And then they're like, ain't no white people out. I'm like, I'm good over here.
Flash was like, why would he kill Lil Shiesty? All he did was rob the store.
There was one with Lil Reese, and I was like, damn, we're really getting into it. I was really getting into it. I'm like, I understand what Lamron is now. It's just the street name backwards. I'm like, all right. I was really getting into it, and I'm just
shit.
I wonder how many other people know about it. You know? But I realized that
we need to do something about this.
They were spinning the story, and I was like, I got it. They got me, bro. They got me. But I couldn't talk to that with my other people on my skin color.
They're going around and being like, y'all haven't heard about what's going on in Chicago? Like,
and everybody's
dying.
Like, what the fuck?
They got the disciples, the GDs, they got everybody out here.
He's like, it's a real problem. Somebody should go do this.
Did you know? Speaking of things you may not know, before we get back on track with this podcast, did you know that Larry Hoover created the Disciples and everything? Oh, yeah. Really? So he created that gang, and every time someone was like,
the BDs,
yeah. And so when everybody's like, well, when rappers are like free Larry Hoover, they're really saying free the dude who created the Disciples, and I'm like.
That's very dangerous. That sounds like a dangerous thing to do.
Yeah, sometimes I would listen to Chief Keef things, and I'm like, "What the fuck is he talking?" I'll look it up. It'll throw back to the thing. They're like, "Yeah, free my boy Lil Reese," or stuff like that. And then you look up what these motherfuckers did. I'm like, "Why are we supporting these guys? Like, this man's acquitted on 50 some murder charges.
Yeah, he's a serial killer at this point." Yeah.
But like, it was so different.
Flash, you gotta do a Flatley Reacts to something like a Chirac documentary.
They probably say, "Who the
that
fuck
shit
is this
would
white
go
dude?"
nuts.
You gotta be careful with that. Academics already got pressed for that.
Yeah, DJ Academics.
Did he really?
Yeah. Yo, that's how I got into. That's how I got in with the Academics. I started watching his videos.
He's an idiot as well. He say stupid shit.
Yeah, that second channel.
I'll fuck him up.
Chirac.
Academics.
Well, no, he was.
He's not about that. Like,
yeah,
he just reports on that.
Yeah,
he talked that shit.
The reason why Vic Mensa was upset at Ack was because he was commenting on a lot of things happening in Chirac, and he was treating it lightly as if to say, well, Vic Mensa felt like he was treating it lightly as if to say, these dudes, they're killing each other, and by proxy themselves, why would they be dumb enough to do that? Which might not be the way you word it when someone's family is involved. Like when it's someone who actually has family that's going through this or has been a part of gang violence, that's coming from a place of hurt, like being like, how are you gonna call this dude that's dead that I cared about stupid?
I feel like people miss out on that.
You heard what I said about FBG Duck though.
Yeah,
I've wholeheartedly said that.
And that's a prerogative you have. Obviously, once you get bigger, you could still have those same takes and still say whatever you want to say, but you gotta stand on it.
Yeah,
you gotta stand at it all times.
I mean,
Academics don't want to stand on it.
Well, he a bitch then. I hope nobody from Chirac want to blame me, but you can't front. Duck is a little stupid. He was a little dumb.
Well,
it's what he did.
It's all about perspective and walking in somebody else's shoes. Was he stupid for doing what he does? From your point in life, your life experiences, yes. From his point of life and maybe the people around him, no. Maybe that's what you gotta. Maybe stuff like that is what you gotta do to live where you live.
No. Him being the activities he got involved in before he was on, I mean, that's just life for some black people, as we just talked. That's just life for some black people.
It's the same thing though. Like if you take what DJ Academics fails to comprehend though is like these guys are. He says like these guys are killing each other for no reason. But if you went 50 years ago, or maybe even 60, 80 years ago, to New York City with the Irish and Italian immigrants, they were pulling up on each other too, like, with the mob and everything. They were running up on each other too.
The Peaky fucking Blinders.
I think it's literally they blame culture and everything. I think it's a lot less about culture, and it's more of you gotta fucking survive. You literally gotta survive.
It's humans getting together.
No one's gonna feed your family at the end of the day. You have to. If you can't work, you gotta do something else.
But what I was gonna say about Duck, to clarify, so they're like, oh, PLAX is this and FBG Duck, let's kill him. No. My point is, before he was on, the stuff he was doing was the stuff he was doing. That it is what it is. But he got to the level of G Herbo, Bibby, all those guys, Dirk, all them guys that left. He said himself, all those guys is bitch ass niggas and all this stuff and they whole ass nigga, all that stuff because they left and they didn't want to be a part of the gang shit no more. They repped it, but they wasn't involved no more. And they went to LA or New York City or different places.
Why wouldn't you though?
Right. And FBG Duck was quoted saying, and I think he said it online as well, they bitch ass niggas, they whole ass niggas, you'll never see me do that. I'm whatever FBG till I die, all this shit
mentality.
And he said, I'ma die doing what I do. I ain't gonna never stop. What happened? He got blamed in broad daylight in the middle of the street. And he was on the same level as those other guys. He could have got into movies. He could have got into TV. He could have, like, Bibby do real estate now. He don't even rap no more. He literally does real estate, bro. He could have did something, and he could put, you don't know what's going on, but he could probably still be alive right now. But he decided to be a hard, whatever. That's stupid. Any way you try to flip that, that's stupid. Now, if you ain't got no other choice, it is what it is. He literally could have took his fame and whatever money he had and left.
I think they just do it to themselves. You get stuck in that rat race mentality,
right.
And you're like, this is what I know, this is how I came up, I guess I gotta keep doing this. Some people, I think it's more of an intelligence thing, right? Some people don't know, once they get stuck in a certain way of life, they don't know how to go past it, you know what I'm saying? Like my mom and dad, they're stuck in that 9-to-5 life, you know. I'm thankful enough that I'm not stuck to it because I'm contract, but at the end of the day, you guys too, you see life outside of that 9-to-5. That's just a small example of a way of life.
I definitely don't. That's why I do shit.
It's like, what's his name? Like, we could use 6ix9ine from New York. You know, he would create moments, right? Now you can compare 6ix9ine to the Island Boys, who also create moments. The difference between the Island Boys and 6ix9ine is, they both kind of grew up poor. They both kind of grew up in the same scenarios where they had to rob people. They were in jail. They're doing all these other things. 6ix9ine uses these moments to garner fame and create a name, just like the Island Boys. However, he evolutionizes it. He's more than rap. Now he's working with Steve Will Do It. Well, I actually don't know if they're cool anymore, but he's working with Steve Will Do It. He's got a couple properties now in Florida. And he's buys and sells. It's all on Steve Will Do It. Like, he does it, everything behind the scenes.
Is that what the Fed doing now? It's with property.
That's all everyone's doing. Like Steve's a YouTuber. I'm like, how the hell has he got so much? Like, he's spending $1 million almost every video, right? He's got these like multi-million-dollar condos he bought outside of YouTube. Like, they got all these properties, and I'm like, it's so much bigger than what it actually is.
And that's what I'm saying. It's just like, it's other rappers that's done that, but Duck specifically, he could have because unless I'm tripping, he was on the same level as those dudes at one point. Excuse me, when Chirac was really popping and Chief Keef started and they were the new guys coming in, he could have left like everybody else did, but he wanted to be a tough guy or whatever the fuck he wanted to do. And now he's gone. Now, I'm not saying he couldn't have been gone doing that too, but it probably wouldn't have been getting shot in broad daylight in the middle of O Block. You see what I'm saying? Now he's gone, and now your family, I don't know how much money you have, but now your family don't got your income coming in no more. Because you
why wouldn't you just move?
Because you a
those
real
closest to
nigga,
you?
quote unquote. Easier. That's my problem. That's my only problem with it. But again, I don't partake in those activities, so maybe I just don't understand.